Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Sports Desk with Ryan Potts and Jack Mitchell. I'm Ryan Potts, otherwise known as Splash. You can find me on social media at Mr. Splashman19 on Twitter and Instagram. I'm on the U Stadium app as Splash, as you might have guessed. You can find Jack on U Stadium as Jack Mitchell and on Instagram as Jack_Mitchell_01. How's it going, Jack?
Great, you did it. You nailed it. You nailed it. Let's go.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah.
What a time to be
Notice
alive.
the new camera, by the way. I got a new PC since the last show, so made a couple upgrades. You can now see my messy hair even better. So
It'd be like that sometimes.
yeah,
Because, I get comments to shave every week, so
I just get comments to get a haircut.
I need to comb my hair. I just played soccer out on the mall, and I landed in the grass, the wet grass. So playing soccer plus wet grass plus sneakers, not soccer cleats, is a recipe for disaster, and I'm going to be really sore tomorrow. So
That is a yikes.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. Speaking of yikes, today we're introducing a new show concept. If either of us unintentionally says the former name of the Washington football team or the former location of the Raiders, Rams, or Chargers, contact me for a prize, and you have to be the first person to do so. And please note unintentional. So if I say
Unintentional.
so if I say the 1999 St. Louis Rams, that is correct. But if I said the 2019 St. Louis Rams, then that's a ding. That's an error. So unintentional. I will review the show and let you know if you won or not. So again, if it's the 1999 St. Louis Rams, no dice. But if I screw up somewhere else, we're going to talk about
that. Didn't count, by the way. That didn't count.
That doesn't count.
We're explaining the rules here. So
okay, we're explaining the rules. It's like on the main show when Bree said Patriots. Just calm down. So unintentional. We're going to talk about the Washington football team later. So there's potential for us to slip up there. Although I'm going to try to be as hilarious as I can with it. So don't worry about it.
He's going to have fun.
Again, it only applies to the first person. So Patriots news, you have the right idea. It just not while we're explaining it. So let's jump into NFL free agency, Jack.
It's a banger.
Starts on Monday. The league year starts on Wednesday the 17th. It's about to go down.
Matthew Stafford becomes a ran on the 17th. Let's go.
Wasn't that trade finalized?
That's a trade, though. That wasn't a free agent thing, but I'm still hyped.
That trade was finalized before the Super Bowl, right? Or made before the Super Bowl.
It was it was during Pro Bowl week.
Oh, yeah, Pro Bowl. I still can't believe the Ravens had Judon and Calais Campbell. Are you kidding me? I watched every single snap of the Ravens this year, and they were not Pro Bowl caliber players. Either way, Matt Judon is a free agent, so he might go to Tennessee or the Jets. Shout out to the Jets. I think a lot of our viewers are Jets fans, but that's okay. That's okay.
We all know who the Jets really want. So
yeah, they want Joe Flacco.
Yeah, it's Joe Flacco, 100%.
Super Bowl MVP Joe Flacco, elite quarterback. Nate the Greatest. I agreed. Matt Judon is a thug. There was that one time he kind of punched a ref, which was really stupid, but quite hilarious. But it happens. It happens.
It's funny to look back and think about it now, but yeah, punching a ref is. And
I think that was in the Pittsburgh game. I don't know. Maybe we win that game if Matt Judon's there.
I haven't completely thought about most of the free agents, to be honest.
Yeah, I'll run through. I think I can find the U Stadium app post or the Instagram post. Anyways, so some big names are off the market. Chris Godwin got tagged. Tom Brady is back in Tampa. Duh, I guess. Allen Robinson got tagged. Leonard Williams got tagged. Trent Brown, he's back in New England. Brendan Scherf got tagged. Marcus May got tagged. Dak Prescott got a buttload of money the other day. So how do you feel about that Dak contract?
Yeah, that's something else I think we should have brought up is that Dak finally got paid.
Finally, man.
Finally. I've been talking about this all the time.
Good.
It's a lot of money, though, honestly.
Yeah.
Dak is a great QB. I'd be willing to say he's great.
It has the second highest average annual value in the NFL. It is a 4-year, $160 million deal, and almost over 3/4 of that is guaranteed. I think I could do math right. No trade clause. a signing bonus of $66 million, something ridiculous like that.
That's ridiculous.
Oh boy. Woo, that's a lot of money. And you know what? He deserves it. And I want to take some of the things I've seen on the app recently. Dak Prescott being paid the second most does not imply that he is the second best quarterback. He's just the first quarterback to reset the market, if you will. So that's why I think there's a list somewhere here. Maybe not on. Here it is. So like Mahomes, Dak, Watson, Wilson, Goff, Rodgers. Remember that Dak has the newest contract of all of those, and I think that's the thing that we need to realize is that it matters when he gets the contract rather than how much he's getting paid, because like Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, they got their contracts very recently. Aaron Rodgers, when he got paid, Cousins, when he got paid, they got paid handsomely, and that it's just a timing and inflation sort of deal in the NFL.
Yeah. But at the same time, you have to look at it like this is still a lot of money that they're investing into Dak Prescott. Like they want him to be the guy if they do somehow end up contending for a Super Bowl in the future or something like that, which is a huge if, obviously, knowing the Dallas Cowboys.
That's a great point.
This is the NFC East we're talking about here.
Yeah,
but
the good old NFC East. You got Washington, you got, essentially the Four Stooges, Philly, which is a mess right now, Danny Dimes and the Giants, which is always a mess. The Cowboys are a hot mess. And, of course, you got the Washington football team.
Washington's on the cusp, I feel like. They're kind of they're kind of a mess, but they're also kind of like closer to being the contender out of that division right now.
Yeah, and I think if they have a competent offense, they could be a team that goes after one of these star free agents. Let me see if I can grab a picture of them. But if they get a star like wide receiver, I guess not. If they get like a star wide receiver or really anything, to add on to Antonio Gibson, add on to Scary Terry, add on to Logan Thomas, who I'm a big fan of, add on to AGG, Antonio Gandy Golden, they can be a really dominant offense. You tag Scherf, he's coming back. He was an All-Pro in 2020. You have the ghost of Trent Williams, I guess. Morgan Moses is a fine right tackle. He might be a free agent, though. I think Washington wins the division.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with them. And I mean, Chase Young, obviously, we know he's a beast. Taylor Heineke, I think, is more than likely going to be the starter at QB. He definitely showed up in the playoff game. It's just, was that a fluke, or can he actually provide that consistently? Which I think he can, but we'll see.
When's the last time Landover football had a good quarterback? Is it just RG3 that 1 year? Or actually
might have been RG3 that 1 year.
Probably Kirk Cousins, actually. Cousins
Kirk, you're right.
Speaking of quarterbacks, it's been a while. We got Nate the Greatest. Thoughts on Cam's 1 year, $14 million contract? What are the Patriots thinking? Jack, you can take this one first.
That's a surprise to me, honestly. Like I'm pretty sure, I don't know if I'm alone in this one. I'm pretty sure, though, a lot of people were kind of under the impression that Cam Newton was gone. This is kind of a safer deal, though. Like, obviously, Cam proved last year he's got a lot of room for improvement, which is weird saying this because he basically led a 15-1 team to the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. It's like one of those low risk deals. Like, he's not. They know what he can do. They know he can do better. I know he can do better. I think a lot of people know he can do better. But if he doesn't, then they're not like blowing a bunch of money on him like the Rams did with Jared Goff or something like that.
Right. And I want to break down that $14 million, because when you see 1 year $14 million for Cam, you freak out. It's like naturally. But from Mike Garofalo on Twitter, it's not really $14 million. Like, the odds that Cam earns $14 million are quite slim. It's $5 million in base value, so a $2 million signing bonus, $1.5 million in base salary, which is guaranteed. So that's $3.5 million guaranteed, and then there's $1.5 million in total per game roster bonuses. So Cam, I don't know, gets COVID, gets hurt, something, that gets reduced, but it's essentially $5 million. So no injuries. Cam plays all 16 or 17 games. He gets $5 million. The other 9, that's when Patriots make the playoffs. Cam's a Pro Bowler. Cam's an All-Pro. Cam wins his second MVP. They go to the Super Bowl. They win the Super Bowl. That's the sort of deal. That's what you're getting moving forward. So if Cam actually plays at MVP Cam level, that's when he gets paid $14 million. The odds of him getting paid $14 million are slim. Remember, he plays in the same conference as Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson, Baker Mayfield, Ryan Tannehill. I'm blanking out.
His division alone, he's got Brian Flores coaching a team. He's got the Bills. Like, it's going to be hard enough to win the division alone. But.
Right. Yeah. The odds of him making the full $14 million are slim. But if he makes the $14 million, you'd be hard-pressed to say he doesn't deserve the $14 million, because then he's MVP Cam again, and they win the Super Bowl.
And I would say good for him, because for Cam himself, I guess it's a nice little bounce back, but we all know how we feel about the Patriots constantly winning Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm. So I really think it was a smart decision from New England. They saw what Cam did the first couple of weeks of the season, went to Seattle. Granted, it's a bad pass defense, but lit that up. And I think Bill Belichick knows as well as anyone that team doesn't have a lot of talent. They went all in to win Super Bowls, 49, 51, 53, right? So they go all in to win those. So you have a crappy roster. You have all the opt-outs on defense. Your defense isn't like elite tier like it was in 2019. And then you're thinking, okay, well, your right tackle opted out, right? Marcus Cannon. Julian Edelman was hurt the entire year. Jacoby Myers was your wide receiver one. Like, come on now. You have a ceiling there. You have a great offensive line moving forward. You bring back Trent Brown. You're going to have a great offensive line. Damian Harris showed a lot of flash last year. And, of course, Cam, you look at the passing stats. Oh, he only had 8 passing touchdowns. Well, he had 13 total scrimmage touchdowns. That's impressive. So I think Cam can be an effective quarterback. Just don't look at the $14 million, because it's really not going to be 14. It's like 5, and if Cam plays well, it can be 7, 8, 9.
It's an even lower risk deal for sure. Now that you bring that up, because like we know the potential's there. It's just he has to show it, and like it was more. I read earlier, I forget who tweeted it, but it was more. This signing was more for like stability at the position, which I can completely understand considering when Cam did have COVID and the results on the field from the QBs were not great.
No, Jarrett Stidham and Brian Hoyer really don't deserve to be NFL starting quarterbacks. Like I don't know.
Backups, sure.
Yeah, like I understand the value of Brian Hoyer. Like he knows the Patriots system. He's been in the McDaniels offense several times. But I don't see it out of Jarrett Stidham. And I've talked to a lot of Auburn fans. They didn't see it out of Stidham when he was in college. And that's college football. So, so Nelson, where's the Chargers gear at? Well, I have my Weddle jersey, which would be a San Diego Chargers. That doesn't count. I have my Weddle jersey in my room. That's the only Chargers stuff I have right now. Washington is staying as the football team. That's our next topic.
Yes.
For 2021, right? They are like
for 2021, they will
guaranteed.
remain the Washington football team. For 2022, new name.
I like Red Tails.
You like Red Tails. I read somewhere that and this is probably not like what it actually will be. DC Sentinels was a name that they trademarked. It was one of those like they trademarked in advance. Like, how in the NHL, the Seattle Kraken, like they trademarked a bunch of names in advance just to be sure.
Right.
I feel I like DC Sentinels though. I really like that one.
I mean, I really like the DC Defenders in the XFL.
Yeah, that was cool.
I like DC United, granted MLS team, but I like just the idea of branding it as a DC team, even though they play in Landover, Maryland. Whoop-de-doo. But hey, I like the branding there, and DC is one of the best flags in the country. So if you can incorporate the flag design into the logo, I of course love the traditional Washington football team, burgundy and gold.
Don't lose that. Do not lose the burgundy and gold.
Don't lose that, but I think you can take like the stars and stripes idea from the DC flag. Like I would be fascinated to see a potential logo for a DC football team. Because I love the DC Defenders logo. Of course, it's not burgundy and gold, but
it's a cool logo. They had cool branding in the XFL, honestly.
Yeah, that was one of. I think I gave it maybe a B+ or an A- when I did my XFL. I did logos and name reviews. I didn't like DC Defenders as a name, so that was like a C- or a D+. But loved the logo. I loved the iconography of the DC flag. that's one of the best flags in the country.
Yeah, it's a cool flag.
So moving back to free agency for a second, who are 2 guys that you want the LA Rams to sign this offseason?
Just bringing John Johnson back count.
Yes.
Okay, so he's one. The other guy I've kind of had my eye on, and this is I don't know how you feel about this one. His name, you might have heard it, Kyle Van Noy.
Ooh, see, I like him in Baltimore.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons, but yeah, I think John Johnson is an unbelievable player. Pro Bowl caliber guy. I would say all pro caliber guy, but we're pretty loaded at safety right now. Like, just think that Derwin James hasn't played a meaningful snap since 2018. Like, he's a guy that was an all pro as a rookie, and it's a loaded safety group right now. But John Johnson's like certainly a top 10 guy. He's going to be in my top 100 when I get around to doing that. And Kyle Van Noy, didn't have a great season with Miami, but he's a leader. You guys need linebackers.
He'd definitely be a good fit.
And I think it's hard to find a bad spot for Van Noy.
Yeah.
Because at the very least, he's incredibly talented, and he has I hate to use the cliche, but he's essentially an extra coach on the field. He's so smart.
It's true though. That's true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very true with him. He's so smart. He's so good at just communication, and that's one thing that you can throw all the talent in the world out, but if they can't communicate, it doesn't matter.
That's something the Rams might actually need, because I'm pretty sure John Johnson was calling plays for the Rams when after Corey Littleton left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if you go that is a loaded defense. You have stars everywhere, and one reason why they're so successful is communication. All 11 guys on the defense are playing the same. They are doing the same thing.
They're on the same page.
Same page, same line, same word. They're not. Ramsey's not reading Shakespeare. Donald's not reading the Inferno or Dante's Inferno. They're all working as a unit, and that's what Pittsburgh does well. That's what Washington does well. That's what Baltimore does well. That's what these consistently great defenses do, and that's what the Rams did extremely well in 2020.
And I'm hopeful they'll do it again.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
You got Avocado
Toys.
Okay, who wins the NFC West in 2021?
Wrong side.
Yeah, Frankie does that all the time. Yeah, I'm leaning Rams right now.
That's where we're leaning. It looks close, but obviously, I don't think they're going to run away with it. Mm-hmm. Arizona might not. JJ Watt certainly doesn't hurt. Does he push them over the line, though? We'll see. Seattle, they might lose Russ.
Yeah, and they're just going down the drain if they lose.
And then we get to the 49ers, where I had a bit of an unpleasant experience yesterday with Deebo Samuel, because he came out in an interview or some sort, and he was talking about how he was unfazed. I need to find his quote.
Interesting.
I was angry.
Okay, I do think if you're a betting man, San Francisco has good value, because I believe the Rams are betting favorites. So if you're betting $100, you're not getting $100 back. So if you want to find a value, I think San Francisco is a great value, because the last time we saw a healthy San Francisco, they were just killing everyone on their way to the Super Bowl. But I do got to lean Rams right now. Of course, Seattle could be a curveball if they keep Russell Wilson. Some of the odds, I'm sure, are factoring in.
Here's the quote.
Probably get traded. Okay,
he got asked about Matt Stafford, and he said, "I ain't lost to them in 2 years. I ain't lost to the Rams in 2 years, so it is what it is. They try to do what we do, but they can't do it like we do it. You feel what I'm saying? They want to play action all game. They ain't dropping back and letting the ball go. They can't do it. They want to play action, get their little down flats, the little flat routes all game. Just let their people run. You ain't going to win like that." This is a man that is talking like Jared Goff is still the starting quarterback of the Rams.
That's a great point. I do think San Francisco and LA, I don't want to say it's they're not Walmart versions of each other, but it's kind of
color-wise, maybe.
Yeah, that's funny. I think you're at a certain point, they do run a very similar idea. Like the ideologies of the Shanahan system and the McVay system are totally like dissimilar. Like heavy run, lots of play action, make it easy for the quarterback. Get weapons. San Francisco has Ayuk, Debo, Kittle. The Rams have Woods, Kupp, my guy Van Jefferson. You have strong running games that. Cam Akers doesn't need to be a superstar to have superstar caliber production like he did in the playoffs. Raheem Mostert doesn't need to be a superstar to have the only 200-yard, 4-touchdown playoff game in the history of the NFL. And I think you can grab, and then defensively, San Francisco's taken a step back from the Super Bowl year, but they still have a generally good defense. You have a superstar, Fred Warner. You have, Armstead. You have Nick Bosa, who
Verrett came out of nowhere.
Okay. I will defend Verrett. When he played with the Chargers, he was elite when he was on the field. The issue was he was never on the field. I think
that's true.
There was a stat that he played more snaps this year than he had since 2016, like combined. Like 2016 to 2019, he had fewer snaps than 2020. I need to look that up because that is pretty jarring there. Let me use my PFF subscription today. I haven't used it in a couple days. Do you like Pro Football Focus, Jack?
They're okay. I mean, they did the game where Jalen Ramsey basically completely locked down DK Metcalf. I think that was week 10. They gave Ramsey like a 55. So I was not happy with that, but generally, yeah, I can't say I hate PFF. It's just sometimes they come out with stuff that makes me wonder what the hell I'm reading.
Yeah, that's fair. Like Verrett, let's see. He played 803 snaps this year, according to PFF, which I believe PFF counts like plays that were nullified with like holding and stuff like that. So I think that's a more fair assessment. So like if, I don't know, Lamar Jackson throws it to a defensive back, but there was like a hold or a defensive holding on the opposite side of the field, that's still a terrible throw by Lamar. Like he needs to get dinged for it. So yeah. So Verrett played 803 snaps this year. He played 4 in 2019, 63 in 2017, and then 260 in 2016. So he had 327 snaps the previous 4 seasons, 803 this year, played at a high level. Although last year his PFF grade was a 19.6 on 4 snaps. So that's how did he manage that?
That's weird.
He played 4 snaps against Pittsburgh, had a 24.1 coverage grade. He allowed a 39-yard touchdown.
Well, that'll do it right there.
And had a penalty. Good
penalty.
Start. Yeah, good stuff, Verrett. So.
Avocado, to address your comment in the chat, yeah, the 49ers swept the Rams. That doesn't exactly pertain to winning the division, though.
Good point.
And especially with the NFC West, too. Like, this past year was a perfect example. I think some people might have been saying that the Rams were the better team out of the NFC West because, yeah, the Seahawks won the division. But then what happened? They lost to the Rams in the playoffs with a four-fingered Jared Goff. And the Rams are in the divisional round, and no other NFC West team is alive. So, like, that's kind of why division wins in some divisions are kind of weird, like the competitive ones. They're definitely, I don't think they tell the full story.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, I know, like, the Ravens swept the Browns this year, but I don't think that's indicative of the Ravens being, like, miles better than the Browns. You know, it was week 1. I think that's you can just kind of throw that out at some point. And then the other game was Justin Tucker makes a 55-yard field goal or else it goes to overtime, essentially. So I think people can get lost in, this team beat this team. Yeah, sometimes individual matchups are better. So, like, the 49ers match up well with the Rams. The Rams match up better with most of the rest of the league than San Francisco does. And I think it's pretty safe to say that at least, especially in 2020, with all the San Francisco injuries, that the Rams were the more talented team offensively and defensively, but San Francisco beat them. But it's not
They beat them by a field goal, and the Rams definitely were lacking in special teams last year.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing that the results a lot of the time dictate so much of what people think. So let me give you an example. The Steelers won the AFC North. So people think, they're the best team in the AFC North. There's context to that. There's Pittsburgh wasn't playing well at the end of the season. Baltimore was peaking. Cleveland was peaking. Cleveland, well, I mean, they did beat they beat Pittsburgh 2 weeks in a row. Baltimore won 5 straight after losing to Pittsburgh without half their roster. And there's many cases of like the 1 seed sometimes isn't the best team. The 2019 Ravens, they weren't the best team in the AFC. It's Kansas City. And we saw that play out in the playoffs. In 2018, the Patriots went to Kansas City and beat the Chiefs. They were the 2 seed. And the Rams were the 2 seed.
Yeah, the Rams were the 2 seed. They went to New Orleans, beat the Saints.
Yeah,
so which some people discredit, but we should not be talking about that anymore.
Debatable games. But the idea of this team finished with a better record, that means they are better. I disagree with that. I was big. As soon as Pittsburgh lost, I knocked them down from number 1 in my power rankings. I knew they had the best record. I got it. But at a certain point, who cares?
It was like we were agonizingly waiting for the I almost said Penguins. Jeez, that was another slip up. The Steelers to lose a game just so we could finally knock them off the number 1 spot, because it's like, yeah, they have the best record. They're 11-0. Not great. Yeah, and it's just like I don't mean to rag on Pittsburgh. They had an unbelievable year. The defense is loaded. They're going to compete for the division again. I get it, but the eye test should matter. And I know this is especially true with the draft stuff. That say Justin Fields in 2019, he had 40 touchdowns, 1 interception until the Clemson game in the semifinal, and one of those interceptions was when Chris Olave forgot how to run routes. So he really only had 2 interceptions all year that were on him. Yes, watch the film though. This is like Trey Lance had 40 touchdowns, 0 total turnovers. Watch the film. Mac Jones had the all-time passing efficiency record. Watch the film. He was throwing to open guys. And I'm not knocking Lance. I love Lance. I'm not knocking Fields. I love Fields. I'm not knocking Mac Jones. But I think there is some context that we need to have. Why did the Steelers beat the Ravens twice? Why did the Ravens beat the Browns twice? Why did the 49ers beat the Rams twice? I think and sometimes I think it comes down to coaching a little bit too. Like I feel like the Rams losing to the 49ers twice, even though the 49ers were decimated last year, was because of coaching. Like Kyle Shanahan had this banged up roster in front of him, a bunch of 2nd and 3rd string players, and he still found a way to beat the best defense in the league twice. Mm-hmm. That's just how good of a coach he is. Right. He just outcoached McVay a couple times, which that'll happen. Bill Belichick gets outcoached. Obviously, I'm not necessarily saying here that Belichick's the best in the league, but you get my point. Like he's not. Coach is perfect. Yeah, it's a matchup thing. There's some, like I know Andy Reid just kills John Harbaugh. It doesn't, like, you might think Harbaugh's a better coach than Reid. At certain points I have, but Reid just coaches circles around Harbaugh. But there's, like Belichick, I think he's the best coach in the league. There are guys that take their licks on Belichick. Harbaugh has outcoached him in several playoff games. He just got undermined by Joe Flacco in a couple of them. But you know what I mean. It's really a matchup thing. So there was Matt Patricia outcoached Bill Belichick in one game, and I'm sure there have been games that Adam Gase outcoached the other coach, although I don't think that happened in either of the games this year. I guess Greg Williams wasn't the DC anymore, but the Jets had a phenomenal game plan to combat the Rams, and McVay had no answers for it, which was really strange. I think we kind of agreed that week, though, that they beat themselves, I would say. True. That's true. Like McVay, it's not that McVay had, it's just like, I hate talking about this game, but it was like, it was more so that the Rams just kind of walked in and thought that they were going to wipe the floor with them, and they didn't. They just underestimated them. They saw 40-3 Seattle over the Jets. They're like, these guys are lame. But they're NFL players for Seattle. A reason. We can beat the Jets. We don't even At the end of the day, they're NFL players for a reason. Anyone can beat anyone. Right, and that's what makes the NFL so special, So speaking of what makes the NFL special, the Washington football team, they're going to be the Washington football team in 2021. Moving forward. Didn't we talk about this? I think we did. Yeah. I like thinking through the script. It's like, what's number 2 on the script? Oh, Washington. We definitely just talked about Washington. Okay. Well,
let's switch over to some NBA talk for a little bit. Let me pull up the NBA earned jerseys.
Yeah, well, basketball today has actually been kind of an interesting topic because Duke and Kansas, I know, are out of their tournaments, so they're going to miss March Madness because of COVID.
I believe Duke is probably out because they were on the bubble. Kansas
Duke said that their season's over.
Yeah, so Duke's done. I don't think they would have been in the tournament anyways. Okay, here we go. Are we ready for some NBA earned jerseys?
Yes. I haven't seen all of them. I've seen some of them, but I haven't seen them all. But
all right, Lakers, Clippers, Jazz, and Blazers.
Pick your favorite. The Lakers one. I love it so much. Like, I want that jersey. It's so good.
I think it's cool. I don't know.
It's nice.
Jazz one, although I do have a Gordon Hayward Jazz one in my closet right now. So,
the Lakers one reminds me of like I think they called it like the Hollywood Knights jersey. It was like this exact combo. It had the purple numbers with I don't think they had the drop shadows, but they had the yellow outline. It had the black. I think the black looks really good. Almost reminds me of the Kobe jersey. I think it might be actually like a dark gray, not a black.
Yeah, it's like a charcoal-y kind of color.
Like how the Rams use bone gray, like instead of white, it's like charcoal gray.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm not a huge fan of a lot of the gray stuff. Like, I'm not really wouldn't be rushing to buy Clippers or Blazers stuff.
The Blazers one is a bit interesting.
Yeah, because I don't know if it's just the picture, but it looks like at least the logo on the bottom, like it has some red in it. Like the floor, but there doesn't seem to be any color on the Blazers. The only color on the Clippers seems to be like red. Part of the sleeve.
And I think maybe on the other side it's blue, but it for the most part just feels kind of dead with the Blazers and Clippers.
I would go with I would pick up a Jazz jersey.
The Jazz one looks nice.
Yeah. I wonder what's behind the number choices, because like Utah and Portland are 46.
Lakers are 18, Clippers are 20. I don't know.
I don't know. Okay. Let's move on to the next four. We're going to the East. We got Brooklyn, Philly, Milwaukee, and Boston. Pick your favorite, pick your least favorite.
I know this sounds sacrilegious as a Lakers fan, but I kind of like Boston's.
Yeah, I do too.
I like that electric green that they're using on the trim. That's like the perfect way to use it. Like, you have the flashy color in there, but you don't overuse it. You just put it on trim. I think that's a great way to use it. Milwaukee's I kind of like.
I like the horn, I guess antlers on the sides. Not a big fan of the font though. Yeah,
well, it's better than what's on the Nets. Like, the Nets are using that Subway font again, and
just like Snapchat. I don't remember who posted that, so I apologize for not giving you credit, but it looks like just Snapchat jerseys.
I think these are from sportslogos.net, so
Philly.
Good website, though.
Philly's just, I don't know. I like the color.
Isn't
like white cream stuff? But
isn't Milwaukee supposed to be the cream?
Yeah, I think is that the same color? Like this?
It looks like the same color.
Yeah,
it's like antique white cream, whatever you want to call it. I like the bell idea in there.
Yeah, I like the idea. I just think it looks a little goofy.
It could have been executed a little bit better.
Yeah, I don't like how the number is like totally white and the rest of the jersey is a cream color.
Yeah.
So let's move on. I think this is going to be the rest of the West. Nope, the rest of the East. Miami. Oh Lord. Toronto, Indianapolis, Indiana, and Orlando. These, I think, is the best set we've seen so far.
That looks really good, honestly. The Raptors one, it's like some classic throwback colors. Yes, that's a nice touch.
T-Mac and Vince. Oh, yes.
The Magic one looks good. Honestly, all of these look good.
Yeah, I think the Pacers one is pretty clean. The Heat ones look... I mean, I like the Miami Vice, so I like when teams experiment, unless it's Milwaukee, because their blue jerseys look weird. But... I'm liking what Miami's putting down here, you know.
Yeah.
Toronto, I love it.
Love Toronto's. I think Orlando, going back to the Magic, I think it's a good way to make like the jersey at least work without like any text on like the name, like the Magic text or something across the like the chest area or something. Like they just put the logo on there and it works. Like you see that logo and it's like, oh, that's the Magic.
Yeah, like I could see someone not liking it because it doesn't say Orlando, it doesn't say Magic, but
it says Magic on the shorts. But
yeah, that's true.
Jersey wise, I think it looks fine.
Yeah, I think if like I had to rank these, like the Raptors is the best. I mean, it's hard to pick like a bad one out of these. I don't think there is a bad one.
No, like the Pacers played it pretty safe. I think they didn't get too crazy with their color scheme. Same thing for the Heat. The Heat experimented a little bit, but they didn't do anything too crazy.
Right, because I've always liked like the white out, blackout stuff. White hot. Like when like LeBron was on the Heat and they were the overpowered team. Like if I ever play the Heat, it's just pick a different jersey in 2K because the basic ones are basic, and then you have the white hots and you have the blacks and you have the all reds.
Yeah,
I really like Miami's like taste for jersey. Now we got the rest of the West here: Dallas, Denver, OKC, and Houston.
Houston's I like. The Thunder one's a weird one to me.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the font.
Me neither.
I like Denver's. I like how they're going for the same sort of idea as Orlando, that you're no word mark, you're just going for the logo. I think it's really clean. Mavs logo, I think it just looks like their normal.
Yeah, it's just a normal one. It just says Mavs instead of spelling out like Mavericks or something like that. A lot of these, I don't think these teams really tried to do anything too crazy. They played it safe for the most part. But I like the 2-color thing. Like, yeah, there's white stuff on the Rockets one, but overall, for the most part, it's like a 2-color design. I like how they went with that.
Yeah, I think Houston has a good one. I would say Denver's the best out of this bunch. Oklahoma City, sure. I don't know what you're doing. Like, I like the color scheme. Like, I get it. I've liked some of their jerseys in the past, but I'm not really sure about the font.
And some of these are great examples of ads standing out from the overall jersey design, and that's where
does the Rockets one have an ad?
No, it doesn't look like it has an ad. But like that's kind of my thing with ads. Like if you absolutely have to put them on there, fine. At least recolor them though, so they don't
like the Disney one. Although I don't know if that's recoloring. That just matches the blue.
I think Disney uses blue anyway, and it matches Orlando anyway.
See, the StubHub is a little goofy. The Motorola for the Nets and for Indiana, I think that looks fine. Looks like Toronto changed the color of theirs, and Miami did theirs.
I know the Lakers changed the Wish uses like a powder blue or something. They changed it to yellow here.
Your favorite color. Who is that? Yeah. Honey? It's like a grayed out honey on the Clippers.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, I do think like I know the Rams got a lot of flack for the
name tag thing on the like you can kind of see it a little bit here too. Like this is kind of like a separate color almost, but it's like some people are saying that they're preparing for NFL ads on jerseys, which hopefully not. Like the NFL I know is I think financially probably one of the best leagues in the country or in the region. So, yeah, I don't know. I like if you have to get ads for one thing, don't put them on the jerseys. I mean, in the NBA, fine, too late, I guess, to complain about it. But the NHL, they put them on the helmets, which they might last for more than 1 year, by the way, because the rumor there was that they were supposed to only last for a year because they want to make up for COVID losses. And now they're saying that fans are more than likely going to be back in arenas soon. They're going to make up for the revenue loss. But then you already have the ads on the jerseys. And I was saying there's no way the NHL will say no to more money. Right. No way. And yeah, I don't like ads on uniforms. I think there's enough ads all over the place as it is. But like once you open the door, you can't close it. Like I know soccer, that ship has already sailed forever ago.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to my mom yesterday about PSG's jerseys, which are gorgeous. They have these alternate. It's like purple and pink. It's like, oh, hello, yes.
Oh, the LA Galaxy, their new secondary kit is beautiful.
Ooh,
it's solid. Like a throwback thing.
So you know what else is beautiful? We got the hot takeometer.
Ah, yes, it's back.
Yes. Okay, let me take down the brand for a second. Here we go. All of it's beauty. We got milk, bell pepper, jalapeno, serrano, cherry d'alba, Okay, chili to arbol, Tabasco,
Chili de
cayenne,
arbol,
tree chili, Scotch bonnet, habanero, ghost pepper, and the Carolina Reaper. Let's get into some hot takes. Do you have any off the dome?
Let's see.
We got some comments today. We got the app a little popping.
Here's from Jay-Z 2016 Cubs. The Cubs will perform like their lineup shows, acquiring pitching at the deadline and win the Central, losing in the NLCS.
Okay. See, you got Baez. He's going to be better. You got Bryant. He's going to be better. You got Rizzo. He's Anthony Rizzo. Contreras. Fowler's in with the Angels now. I think he's two or three teams removed. I mean, I get where he's coming from. I think, like, star power wise, the Cubs are there. You know, you have an MVP caliber third baseman, you have an MVP caliber middle infielder, you have an MVP caliber first baseman. But so do the Cardinals. You know, you have Arenado, Goldschmidt. I believe Colton Wong is now in Milwaukee, but you have Paul DeJong, the short right. I think it's going to be tough to knock off St. Louis. That's the issue. I do.
And even if you do get out, you do get to the NLCS, you're probably playing either the Dodgers or the Braves or something. So
or the Padres. This is. I'm really excited for baseball season. I mean, I'm rocking my Braves hat. I'm really excited. I don't think it's the year that the Braves finally make it back to the World Series, sadly, because the Dodgers exist. But we went through that last week. Tune into last week's show for my rant about the Dodgers. But hey, you know, I'm excited for baseball. You know, the Mets are loaded up again. Padres are great. Dodgers are great. And the NL Central is the NL Central, you know. So.
Yeah. But I'm always excited for it. It's fun. Like, I love those moments when you can finally stop talking and start playing and really prove who's the better team. Right. I love it.
So I would say, like, winning the Central, I think like that would be like a jalapeno Serrano take. Like, they're I have Milwaukee winning the division, but you know, but losing in the NLCS, I don't think the Cubs or Brewers or Cardinals or Reds, rest in peace, Pittsburgh Pirates. I don't think any of those four teams are better than the Braves / Mets or the Dodgers / Padres. Like that, I think just point blank, it's hard for me to back Chicago, any of the teams in the NL Central, when there are four vastly superior teams in other divisions. So, and even, you know, Washington, they are loaded. Like the star power there. If Soto is Barry Bonds again, whoop-de-doo. Or, you know, Philly has a great roster. People don't give it a lot of credit. They just, Philly's fourth place team. You still got Harper. You still got Rhys Hoskins. You still have Aaron Nola, who had an incredible season last year. And even Miami, you know, they made the playoffs last year, and they have a very good, like, young core that's rising up to the minors. Sixto Sanchez, ace guy, ace stuff. He can really light it up, and he's a guy that I think will be contending for the Cy Youngs that Jose Fernandez should have contended for. But yeah, I would say winning the Central, probably Serrano. Losing the NLCS, probably Cayenne, like a little higher. Like, I know it's only a 5-game NLDS, so if you, like, get lucky, you know, get like 10 runs against the Braves in the first inning, it can happen. But I don't think Chicago has the talent to make it to the NLCS.
Well, we'll see on that one. All
right, here we go.
Here's one.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, here's one I like. This is from Hearst Empire. I'm pretty sure is how you pronounce it. Mm-hmm. It's with a V instead of a U. Jacoby Myers will be a 1K receiver next year.
Okay. I think this could happen just because a lot of teams, they generally get one guy to have 1,000 yards. And if it's not, you have, like the Ravens, for example, had two guys with 800 yards, something like that. So if there is a guy in New England that would get 1,000 yards, Jacoby Myers seems like the guy, because Edelman is all over the place and he's always injured. I mean, I like Jacoby Myers, but if he's your number one wide receiver, you have issues. But I think that's maybe a chili to arbol take.
I'm going to put this a little bit higher. I'm going to probably go Tabasco here, only because it's like, yeah, like you said, teams typically get 1K 1K guys, but at the end of the day, how much is Cam Newton gonna pass to him?
Fair. That's fair because they were 30th in attempts. Like I think the Jets are 31st, and then the Ravens were 32nd by a mile. So I think Myers is a good player. If he's your wide receiver one, you have issues, but he's a good player.
For sure.
This is one I liked, and I saw it when I was walking back into my dorm, and I had a moment. So this is from Benjamin Sackett. No profile picture. If Ben Simmons develops a jump shot, he will be a top 5 point guard of all time. So here's my mini, I guess, rant. It's not really a rant because I'm pretty calm, but I started watching basketball in May of 2006. There's been a handful of guys like in the draft that have been like, this guy will be a superstar. Odin and Durant in 06, Rose in 09, Blake, and then after that, Anthony Davis, Zion. I thought Lonzo was generational as a passer. That has kind of been okay. Luka and Ben Simmons.
Take it from my own experience. Lonzo's been okay.
Yeah,
I know he never showed up as much as he should have when he was on the Lakers.
Yeah, and like these, I think Ben is one of those guys. He's like I think it's like a top 5 prospect of my time watching basketball. I would probably say it's Odin, Durant, Zion, Anthony Davis, and then it's like a toss-up. You have Wiggins, Blake, and Simmons. But either way, Simmons is a guy that, he's going to be a superstar. And, he's been a tremendous defensive player, a generational passer. He's in that Magic, LeBron role, but he's so good defensively. He's a defensive player of the year caliber guy. And then offensively, he is a devastating weapon. And I don't use devastating lightly. He is on that LeBron, Zion, I'm going to get to the basket if I need to tier of guys, But
sure.
The jump shot, Giannis as well. If he develops a jump shot, I don't know if that happens. I don't think this is a hot take at all. It's just if he develops a jump shot, I don't think he is.
It's hinging on an if.
Yeah. Like if you said Ben Simmons will be a league average 3-point shooter, I totally agree with you that he is a sensational talent. He is as good of a prospect as I've ever seen. Like he's on that Durant, Odin, Blake tier. So I think that is milk tier for me. If given that he has an elite jump or even a halfway decent jump shot, but if he doesn't have a jump shot, it's going to be hard to move up in the modern NBA. Like if he was playing in the 80s, if you replaced, I think Magic Johnson is a better player, but the idea is the same. If you replaced Simmons and Magic Johnson, I don't think the Lakers are like significantly worse at basketball. I'm not saying Simmons is as good as Magic. Don't misconstrue my words, but the idea is the same. You would play at the same pace. You would have a lot of the same production. And I think Ben Simmons is a little bit better defender than Magic was. Maybe not as good of a passer, but the idea is there.
Sure.
And I'm sure your Lakers fandom is just fuming that I compared Ben Simmons to Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I get it. Hot take, whatever. Ben Simmons is an unbelievable talent. If you're...
No, he's good for sure. Absolutely.
So...
I'm just glad that we got through our NBA take and it wasn't Suns and 6. Inside joke right there.
Oh my goodness. Anyways, this is from AV22, jumping back to football. Zach will be the best Wilson in the NFL in 3 years. And then follow-up, WDBZ said next year. Can Zach Wilson be better than Russell Wilson? Let's hear it.
No.
Oh, no. Is this Carolina Reaper?
This is Carolina Reaper. Like, yeah, Russ kind of cools off a little bit, sure, but like he's still insane. Like, where are you going to find another guy like Russ? Like, sure, like guys like Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, those type of people who just have the elite escapability that this guy has. Like, I always get frustrated watching Russell Wilson because, like, yeah, sure, Aaron Donald will get to him occasionally, or
well, when Mike Upati is your guard,
yeah.
I mean, Rest in peace.
But like Russ already knows his O-line. I feel like he's kind of used that to his advantage almost, because like he knows his O-line isn't great, so he knows he's had to be escapable. And it's just like 90% of the game, I'm watching this guy run around. Like, can you please just tackle him? And like I've seen this consistently for the last couple of years. He'll just pull. He looks like he's in so much trouble, and he'll just pull a touchdown pass out of his ass.
Yeah,
like he'll just run around for God knows how long, and then he'll get away, and he'll throw it right to the end zone, and DK Metcalf or Tyler Lockett's right there in the perfect spot.
Or David Moore.
Yeah,
David Moore is. I think David Moore would be is a solid receiver.
The only issue I see with that is the decision making, because there was I'm going to reference a Rams loss, or a Rams beating the Seahawks again. That Week 10 game, Russ threw an interception to Darius Williams. It was a perfect interception by Darius Williams, don't get me wrong. But if Russ looks down the right side of the field, it is green, more green than the Packers. Like, it's just like he's got all the space in the world to just run it right in. Nobody's on that side of the field at all. And he sometimes will try to force something out of nothing. Yeah, I don't know much. I'm not a college football guy. I don't know much. Like, I know Zach Wilson's good. I don't know too much about him.
Like I've gone through his film. You know, I think okay. Little tangent. The Wilson Fields debate annoys me because people get so entrenched on their side. Both of them are going to be good quarterbacks. You know, I get the Fields is Ohio State. Who cares, man? If he can ball, he can ball. And Wilson, competition concerns. Man, if he can ball, he can ball. We've seen Patrick Mahomes played against Big 12 defenses, and he's the best quarterback in the NFL. Whoop-de-doo. So I think I have Wilson a little bit ahead of Fields, but it's a 2A, 2B sort of deal. You know, I think either
if you don't get one, you're satisfied with the other.
Yeah, I think it can be a fit thing. You know, I think both of them fit with what the Jets want to do. I think Fields might fit a little bit better, maybe. Either way, I think both of them could be good in New York, but again, it's New York. I think Atlanta would love to have Fields. I think Carolina would love to have Fields. Either of them would probably love to have Wilson as well.
I think the only thing that really kind of messes up this debate a little bit is if Russ ends up leaving for like the Bears. I think is where he might go. That might change things up.
And then at that point, you probably don't trade Allen Robinson. Although I don't think Ryan Pace would trade Allen Robinson.
No, he already tagged him.
Yeah, I guess we were on the same show when I mentioned that Ryan Pace is probably going to go all out for Wilson, and he wouldn't want to. He's not going to accumulate draft picks for his predecessor or his successor. He's just going to use the draft picks to pick Russ or get Russell Wilson, keep Allen Robinson. You know, keep Khalil Mack.
I think I suggested on an earlier show they should tag him at least.
Robinson?
So you have him. Yeah, Robinson.
Yeah, Robinson.
So you have him, and then if you find a fit for him, you can trade him. But like, at least tag him for now, so you can do whatever you want with him. If he doesn't work out, you can trade him. If he works out, you can sign him to an extension.
Right. All right, so we got a couple more hot takes, and we'll wrap it up. This is from Nelson. AC/DC is greater than any other band in history. Got a music take today.
Music take. I listen to so much music. I can't even name my favorite band right now.
See, I like AC/DC. I'm not the most like my mom would be better to ask this. I mean, I don't know if I would call them the best band ever, but I think it's a good band. I don't know where to rank this because
I don't really either. Like, I'll find myself listening to a couple of their songs every once in a while. But
like music is so subjective. I love how like sports is very subjective, but we treat it that it's like end all be all, and then music is so subjective. It doesn't really matter what you like, just as long as you like it.
We're just
It's like I mean, I'm more of a modern kind of music guy, but
that's
I like AC/DC. That's fine.
I won't call them bad for sure.
No, absolutely not. We got Told'em for Taylor. Wentz over Dak this year. What are your thoughts?
Well, we got Dak who just signed. He just got paid up the wazoo.
Yeah.
And then Wentz going to Indy. This is a tough. I'm actually going to put this more towards the middle.
Okay.
Maybe
I think that's
Tabasco, maybe
fair.
chili durable. Because it's like Wentz does have weapons there in Indy. I mean, I don't know. It could go either way, is why I put it towards the middle, because
I think what we've
Dak
seen
does have weapons too, though. It's like, can he stay healthy for one? Which I'm sure he'll be able to. I've
It was a
rarely seen.
pretty fluky injury there.
Yeah, I've rarely seen people get season-ending injuries back-to-back years. Like that's
Jason Verrett.
Well, yeah, Jason's forever. That's probably not going to happen twice with Dak. He'll be more careful for sure.
Yeah, and again, it's like a fluky thing, like the Brady thing. He was in the pocket, or that's the weird thing with injuries is that a lot of them are. I guess this applies to Wentz as well. Is it Wentz's fault that Jadeveon Clowney had a dirty hit against him? No. Or is it Brady's fault that his offensive line forgot how to play football for half a second and he got killed by Bernard Pollard? No. And I think injuries are such a weird thing in sports that some injuries, I guess, can be the fault of the player in a way.
It is if you're like back flipping on an injury and then you hurt yourself. If you hurt yourself celebrating, then it is your fault 100%. Like Cody Bellinger did that.
Like Stephen Tulloch for the Rams, Lions had a sack. He celebrated and he tore his ACL. I believe it was a Bears-Patriots game, maybe 2014, maybe. Bears were getting killed. It might have been Leonard Floyd, actually. Maybe Leonard Floyd was maybe a little too.
He's a free agent. Bring him back, please.
Yeah. It was either Leonard Floyd or someone that could have been Leonard Floyd. That they're down like 20, gets a sack, celebrates with like the discount double check Aaron Rodgers thing, and then he just yoinks his ACL.
I just remember I specifically said backflip because I remember in 2017 Alec Ogletree for the Rams got a pick 6 against Arizona, and he celebrated by backflipping into the end zone. And later in the game, he had to come out of the game because he was hurt, and everyone was like saying in all caps on Twitter or stuff like that, he did not hurt himself on the backflip. So it was like, okay, so I know not to kill him for celebrating and being dumb. Because that was like a week 16 game right before playoffs, and it's like, don't hurt yourself this close to the postseason.
Right. Did you know that he went to my high school?
I did not. That's like nice.
Alec Ogletree, alum of Noonan High School. Probably the second most famous person to graduate from there, and I think I'm the third. I'm only half joking. But one day I will be the third.
One day. We'll get there.
One day we're going to have 10 bazillion viewers every show. It's going to be exciting. And
we're dreaming big here at UC.
So here we go. We got one final hot take. I've never heard of this guy before. His name is Jack Mitchell on the app.
Who's he?
I don't know. The Dodgers should wear blue jerseys during regular season games. Obviously not all of them. So fill us in on your love for Dodger blue.
Yeah, like I call this a hot take because like the Dodgers, next to the Yankee pinstripes, I think the Dodger whites are probably the most iconic in baseball. And like you wouldn't dream of them wearing anything else. I just think like a little color in a uniform set is never a bad thing. And it's not like the Dodgers don't have color, but like when you like their 3 uniform sets, they have the all white home ones, obviously. And then there's they have 2 versions of all gray. One says Dodgers on the front. One says Los Angeles on the front. Throw some blue in there. Get some more color in there. Like if you need to like contrast on another team, just flaunt the Dodger blue. Like show it off a little bit more. It's like one of the reasons why I enjoy seeing like spring training stuff on my Twitter feed or something, or like watching a spring training game. I think the blue uniforms are gorgeous. And maybe they could design a brand new one too for like actual use in the MLB, because I know spring training uniforms are basically different for every team. But experiment a little bit. It obviously doesn't have to be like baseball. You play so many games you play like 162 games during a regular season,
right?
During a normal year, I should say.
And this should be a normal year, right?
Yeah, it should be. I think it looks like they're going to start on time.
Dope.
Try some stuff out. Have some fun.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I think it would be cool. So I just call it a hot take though, just because of how iconic that the current set is. The all white. Like you wouldn't dream of replacing that. I would never dream of replacing that. Keep that for sure, but Mix it up a little bit.
All right, so I think that's going to wrap up our show, but we do have some, I don't want to say breaking news, but some exciting news with the U Stadium Live Network. So let me make us full screen again. So you see our lovely brand up there. You're watching the Sports Desk. For our show, we're going to be changing brands soon. Well, I think we should still be called the Sports Desk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just going to be adjusting the logo a little bit.
We are getting rebranded.
Shout out to our boy Henry. And we have tons of extra content coming to the U Stadium Live Network. Tomorrow, we got some San Francisco talk with my boy Raj. Monday, we have a doubleheader show at should be 6 Eastern. We got Chris, Cowboys show, and then we got the AFC East guys with the Pick Six podcast or Pick Six show. Then next Wednesday, we haven't finalized the time, but before 5 o'clock, we're going to have a March Madness breakdown. That's going to be a weekly show. And then we're going to have a Green Bay Packers show Wednesday night. And of course, our show is Fridays. You got Timeout with U Stadium and Overtime on Thursdays. You have the Flow Bros Monday at night, or Monday at 7. So exciting stuff.
Subscribe to the channel if you guys are interested. We got a lot coming, and we're growing for sure. And the more, the merrier. So
yeah, exactly.
Stick around.
If you love us, you might love some other content. I might host some of those shows, or I'll produce them for sure, but I might even be on them. So if you like seeing my face, I'll be on other shows. If you don't like seeing my face, I won't be on other shows.
Well, he'll still be there, but he won't be on camera.
Yeah, or like yesterday, I wasn't on camera, but my phone was. I was taking phone calls, and I'm very surprised I wasn't getting random people. Although a certain Jack called me,
different guy.
Yeah, the pesky guy called me. Tried to call me. I was doing a test. I don't remember who called me first though. I tried to do it with my mom, and that was like really. Yeah, that was. Oh well. I don't know if we're going to do callers on this show because one of us would have to take the calls, and that would be a little awkward. But that's okay. We don't want to be StreamYard bombed. But exciting show today. I'm going to wrap it up a little earlier than we usually do. So thank you for watching. Thank you, Jack, for taking about an hour and a half out of your day to listen to me blabber on.
We both blabbered. It's fine.
This is fine. All right. Good stuff.
Last thing I have to say, if you're gonna wear your Chargers gear, don't wear it next week. I've worn this jersey. I don't hate this jersey, but I've worn it 2 weeks in a row. I need to change it up. So
I might have more than a jersey there, pal.
It's gonna be like a helmet and everything.
Yeah, I'm going to be LaDainian Tomlinson next week. I don't even have an LT jersey, and I don't know how to get one within a week. But hey, I made a nice order on Fanatics.
I can't wait.
It's gonna be. I don't know if you like the Jazz. Well, I mean, you're a Lakers fan. I don't know if you like the Jazz like color scheme stuff, but I have a Hayward jersey, and I'm getting a Jazz. It's like a yellow orange hat. It's pretty exciting. I'm sure my parents are thrilled that I'm spending money, but it was a gift card, so what to do? So, yeah, I think we need to wrap it up. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, drop a like, drop some comments.
Ring the bell, get notifications.
Yeah, we need to get Henry with like a graphic, like ring the bell, dog. Ring the Le'Veon bell because Le'Veon Bell is no longer good at football. So ring our bell because our bell is superior. It's like Josh Bell that one month that he had like a ton of doubles. Former All-Star Josh Bell. What other bells in sports? You got Le'Veon.
Let's wrap it up.
Okay.
Just ring the bell, bottom line.
Yeah, ring the bell. I think it's time to peace out, ladies and gents.
Peace.